Once again, guys, welcome aboard. We've gone half the distance. We've played half the number of games. Especially if we are not to go to the decider, we've played at least half. It could be way more than a half if one of these guys can win a series of consecutive games and win this match pretty much convincingly. For those of you who are just joining the stream, it is Ibrahim Sajemba 9 and Cesar Chandiga 11 in today's first of the Trilogy, as these 3 sessions of money matches are being named. It is today, it is tomorrow, it is Saturday, in which Cesar and Ibra are racing to 21 on each of the days for $2,000 for each race. It is the money that one of them will win or lose tonight. The advantage is that both will be winners in a way financially. There is a $3 get collection at the venue. The money, which shall be shared equally between the players, as well as $1.5 money that is being charged for online viewership after removing production charges of the video. The rest shall be shared between the players equally. An initiative of the Advanced Talent Agency, revolutionizing pool on the African continent for the benefit, especially of the sport's #1 stakeholder, the player. Be ready to go through what it takes, but to benefit from this. Maluva, Eshka, Sakala, Aiden, Jerry, Victor, Royd, Kelvin, Bubez, Jinte. But now, right from the break, Cesar did exactly as he did just before the break, win the game, and win it pretty convincingly, this time by Apo. It is Cesar 12 and Ibra 9. And despite however good these guys are, green apples have been very scarce. Maybe that is the first of this match, if I'm not mistaken. No wonder that Cesar is going through the arena getting tips from the fans. And from some of our social WhatsApp platforms, there have been complaints that the video is not visible. One thing, I myself did subscribe in support of this initiative. Even though I'm watching the match at the venue, I did subscribe and I've turned on my phone, and the game is beautiful, the stream is beautiful, as the word beauty itself. So maybe it could be the network of someone. And for those of you who are in Uganda, to use some of these online applications, sometimes VPNs have to be removed first. So also try, whenever you tune in, you don't have VPN logged into your phone, especially if you're watching into a phone, never mind a computer. It looks even more beautiful when you're watching a cast video on your television. It is a race to 21 of this Trilogy. We are more than halfway through the journey now, confirmed, of this marathon, which is not a sprint. Race to 21 tests the players in full. The only longer race that has ever been played on the African continent, from my memory, was the race to 25. That match that did happen between Cesar and Jerry, when they did rematch at Tickles and Giggles in Kampala. Once again, special thanks, besides the Advanced Talent Agency, will go to the management teams of both of these players. For Cesar, his management team is the organizing committee, if I can use the word committee for this, because he's under the Advanced Talent Agency in terms of personal management. But for Ibra, special thanks to Roxbury and its entire management, especially you, Zach Idiro. who has always ensured that Ibra is on track, who is in charge, who is responsible, especially financially, for the revamp of Ibra. Nowadays, we are getting to see more or less the Ibra that we are accustomed to seeing for all of these years, entertaining us and entertaining us greatly. He did invite the whole of the African continent in a poster that was also forwarded to myself. And if you are watching this, as long as you hold an African passport and you are a player of pool, Ibra wants you in battle. Whoever is interested, he wanted to shake Caesar off himself for good. That's why he said, for you, Caesar, I want to beat you thrice. And he's so confident in himself in calling the players to the venue when the matches were about to start. When today's match was about to start, Ibra was called first, then Caesar last. It is Caesar who came first. And I understand Ibra said it is the champion who comes last. Don't call me first. And I loved that confidence. But it will be lovable more as long as he sinks in this black, which most likely he will. Yes, he does. And that is more of it. Responding to fire by fire, apple by apple. Ibra 10, Caesar 12. Thank you so much, Mr. William Soko, for having been our agent of the Advanced Talent Agency today in ensuring that those who are watching from Zambia are helped and eased their way into viewing this stream, which they are now enjoying at the comforts of their home from Lusaka to Ndola to Livingston and everywhere in between. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis Slim Mokweke. Those two are my fellow streamers and now pretty much doing work of the ATA, and they do it proudly because for streaming, their intention, streaming doesn't come with any salary. The intention is for these guys to become stars. When they grow, the sport grows along, and we as streamers also grow along. And then we have things like Advanced Talent Agency which come up, of course injecting the money into the game upon realization that the game is well followed. Thank you very much, Evans Okacha and Trevor Mweyu, for helping out the Kenyan viewers, easing them into the stream. Thank you very much, Supra Maranga Morolongo, for doing the work, easing the streamers from Botswana. The same work has been done in South Africa and Tanzania and Rwanda. Thank you very much for all our agents. After all, it is the Advanced Talent Agency of agents. And our umpires today are Henry Joko, the gentleman, and Hadija Nachiride, the lady. And if you are a lady and you want to be an umpire, isn't this a little bit inspiring? First of all, standing up for about 6 hours when you are a lady and still stable physically and emotionally. I think that's a little bit inspiring. Farida, the umpire, a former player of the game in herself, reaching to big finals of the Plus session of Uganda. She's a pretty good player, by the way, but deciding to take a break from playing, and nowadays doing only officiation. And she has done so for a good number of years, 6 or 7 or so. But for the male umpire, Joko Henry, even much longer. At least a dozen years officiating the game and still going strong. And then back to the game. Does it get any better than watching these two? I mean, how many better games can you watch on the African continent? Two players gifted, but very distinctively gifted. And some of the stuff they do are similar, but doing it in a very similar, very different style, taking different amount of time between shots, but what they normally do has the same result. A level of consistency in between themselves is not exactly the same, but these two guys have really delivered over time. Yeah. I think sometimes when I leave you to watch it on your own, to watch it for yourselves, it's all worth it. You could get entertained by listening, but you could also get entertained by simply watching. But look at that for the movement of the white ball. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that worth you paying to watch? We'll need to seal it off by putting the black ball, which he does ever so easily, sometimes ever so effortlessly. And while both players are already way into their double figures, it is a 3-game lead for the Scorpion. Caesar 13 and Ibra 10, meaning Ibra needs 11 and Caesar needs 8 out of the remaining 19 games. If we are to play this race to a completion, if we are to have a decider, the maximum number of games we can play is 19, and yet of the 19, Caesar needs 8 and Ibra 11. Every frame that is played is now becoming ever so critical for Ibra. And how about that for a television play? And yet Ibra breaks and once again puts the white ball on the break. It is scary. It is, unfortunately, it is worrying. If you are a fan of Ibra, if you are a member of the management team, more so if you're Ibra himself. And yet, as if that is not enough, this one looks increasingly likely that Caesar is winning again. At least this frame. Taking no time, wasting no effort, taking no chances. There he is. A little bit of left-handed action. There we go. The word that was taught to me by a member of Caesar's fans team was ambidextrous. Using the left hand fairly good when you are actually right-handed. That's what Caesar has just demonstrated momentarily ago. So far we have seen 3 foul breaks, if I'm not mistaken, from either of the players. 5 foul breaks. I want to retaliate. 5 foul breaks, 3 by Ibra and 2 by Caesar. Once when Ibra fouled on the break, Caesar made a single visit clearance. One when Caesar fouled on the break, Ibra made a single visit clearance. And from a neutral perspective, you will want Ibra to probably pull another one back, to probably make the match more interesting and much more tight and more tense. Maybe the neutral will want this one to end in the decider in a wire. Maybe just to play the race to completion. When the sport is organized with this kind of top-notch organization that the ATA is introducing in the sport, believe you me, both players are winners. Caesar or Ibra, whoever loses tonight's race, will lose their $2,000, but they will take a fair percentage of the money that you guys have paid to watch them. That is, for me, one of the best initiatives that have ever happened to African pool. I know you are watching from Lusaka. Hans Rugari, a lover of both of these players, marketing manager, marketing director of the All Africa Pool Associations, moving places around the continent to ensure that African pool grows strides and strides and strides. By the time he was assigned with that role of being marketing director, in 2019 there were 3 countries that participated in the All Africa Pool Championships. He has now brought a lot of countries on board. The last AAP Championships did have 8 teams, actually 9, and yet there is a promise of at least 12 for the next edition, which is happening next year at a country where your guess is as good as mine. Maybe Kenya, maybe Namibia. A little chance, maybe Uganda, who knows. And I think it is in this part of the world, in the part of the continent where passion is a little bit too much. These new innovations that you are seeing are being driven by the passion of the fans. And thank you, Africa, for enabling us as a pool fraternity be one. Right now, I think it is now one African pool fraternity, all united by the internet. And the internet is being made even better, being utilized even better by the Advanced Talent Agency. And when this thing of live streaming of match videos was being started by Mr. William Soko. Even when he sees things like this happening, I believe he is a very happy guy, inspiring the likes of myself and Francis Mokwekwe and the other streamers Now, it is professional videography in the sport of pool on your phone at the comfort of your home, maybe in your car, maybe at your place of work, nonetheless enjoying your favorite players as you would wish to enjoy them. And these are two of them. One of them is 4 games down against a fellow top player, Ibrahim Sejimba, up against the black, hoping to make it 11. Most likely he will. Why not? There he goes. There he sinks in the black. There he makes it 11 to Caesars 14. It is that point of the match where you think that the match could be won or lost any time from now. Should one of these players win a series of consecutive games, most especially Caesar because he's in the lead, of course. But even Ibra, if he can win 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row, and once again, we are at the Climax Bar in Machinde, in Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. Two of the proudest sons of the land in terms of playing the sport of pool, Ibra and Caesar, are taking on each other in a race to 21 for 2,000 US dollars tonight. Same thing happening tomorrow, same thing happening on Saturday. The match is a product of the return to form of Ibra, who is without the shadow of a doubt one of the best players, not just in Uganda, but also the African continent. But his dominance has come to question ever since the rise of Caesar. To the effect that Ibra, after returning to form, from the good work and guidance of his management team, Roxbury, did invite all African players for money matches, of course starting here at home. He has so far taken down 2 big names in Dog City and Mansour. This one is the third. He's becoming a little bit harder to crack. Nonetheless, possible. I know you're watching Supra Marang. Very good work you're doing in Botswana, promoting the game that side. I know you're watching Fred Crash Karanja, a guy who, in my opinion, is a big inspiration behind the rise of Kenyan pool for the last 10, 12, 15 years. A very common intersection every time it has been pool Kenya. One name that has not been missing has always been Fred Karanja, as a player and as a leader of the sport. Some special people who need special recognition in the sport on the continent. It looked as though Ibra was just about. He came within a whisker, would I say, of making this clearance. And yet somehow the easiest of balls came to haunt him against the worst of opponents you can ever have in a situation like this one. There we go with your statistics below your screen. Only 3 green apples to players of this level, in my opinion, is a little bit of an underperformance, but red apples are there. 4 of them. 5 foul breaks. 3 by Ibra and 2 by Caesar. And Ibra knows it. When opportunity like this one comes Caesar's way, there is always one expectation, and that is the expectation. Up against the black once again to make it 15 to come within 6 of the victory, as long as he rolls the black inside, which he does so easily and so expectedly. Caesar 15 and Ibra 11. From our statistician, I can see 6 dry breaks recorded from both players only. And when you factor in the 5 foul breaks shared between both players, it has been 11 bad breaks from both of the players out of 15 games played. It means not a very good job on the break. That is some homework for the management teams of both of these players. Also special thanks to Prince Morake, always supportive to South African players based in Johannesburg. Did give me the information earlier this week that Eden, just like Caesar, just like Dog City, is headed to Morocco in 1 week's time for both Ultimate Pool and the African Hayball Championships in Marrakesh. And special thanks to all the African countries that are taking ladies pool as they're taking it serious. Pool is not a sexist sport. It is promoted for the males as much as it is promoted for the ladies. The Zimbabwean national team is in final stages of preparation for the World Blackball Championships this year in Manchester. But Caesar seems to be in final preparations for a shot that could take him to a 16th of the match, this time in very, very, very impressive fashion. It will contend for one of the shots of the match, if not the very best. Shooting on target. Guiding the white ball off the cushion, opening up one red ball to the corner pocket. Right now on the top left of your screen. Caesar's big problem is now the position of the black ball. It is still a tricky shot, a tricky frame, but last shot he played was a wonder. And he plays well enough to see his one and only remaining red ball. He also gives himself a sharp cut of the white ball on the red ball, which will probably bounce off the cushion to try and give him chance to open up the black ball. Just have a replay of the magic. And after that replay, when it was played, Caesar was actually playing that penultimate shot for himself in the frame. It looks as though he is snookered before he can play the black. No fun at the venue. Can even think of retiring to go home. Caesar here playing a master shot, making a curve on the white ball on the black, finds the black, but doesn't pot. While it was an entertaining shot, it is now advantage Ibra. Two young men only starting their mid-20hood, but very talented and very joyous to watch. Very supportive management teams around the both of them, and also very supportive families, by the way. At the last ATA competition that Caesar won, a very special guest. His mother was at the venue watching. She was watching the game, but seemingly not bothering so much. Maybe she was so confident in her son. Maybe she didn't understand the sport so much as I would have fancied. But the fact that a parent can come in to support a child in a sport is so encouraging. Caesar 16, Ibra 11. In the meantime, some of the graphics that come across your screen as you are watching, like the one you've just witnessed, is the Scorpion Chalk, which the ATA will be informing you about. But for those of you who are lovers of these players, most especially those of you who support Caesar in particular, will need to support his hustle by buying his chalk. Good enough for players, competitive players, as well as casual players, and as well as fans. And for as low as in Zimbabwe we call it $1 for 3, $1 for 4, $1 for 5 pieces of chalk. You'll get at all those prices, as well as chalks of about $2 to $3. But you'll also get chalks of about 5 pieces of chalk for $1, all branded in the names of the scorpion. It will be called the Scorpion chalk. More of that will be given to you in terms of information by the Advanced Talent Agency, especially towards the end of this year. And how about that for a revolution of the sport, financially, but in a good way, with cheap commodities and services for the fans towards their favorite players, for the benefit of such players. "27 games played, and the third quarter of the match is so far flowing, fastest of them all. It gets to a time when both players decide now to go for it. They have had enough of it. They have had enough of waiting games and patient games, and just decide to go for the game. And this is one of them in Ibra, needing not to miss this penultimate shot of the frame. And there we go. Goes he's about his business, about himself minding his own business, which is the right thing to do. Fight for your game that comes your way. Don't mind about the games that your opponent has, because he's already in the lead. Fight for each game as it comes. Try to lessen the gap, narrow the deficit. When your chance comes, try and utilize it. The more games you win, the more pressure you put upon your opponent. And before you know it, you are within your opponent. That is the billiards chalk of champion, the Scorpion chalk, being launched by the Advanced Talent Agency by the end of this year. In the meantime, it is Ibra 12 and Caesar 16. It is the 6th time that the white ball is potted on the break. That, in my opinion, is the biggest disappointment of this match so far. Like I said before, a long rest to 21 tests all of your qualities as a player. How good you can break, how good you can play under pressure, how good you can clear, how good you can exploit mistakes, but also how good you can play against a crowd, how good you can sustain pressure of the fans, pressure of your opponent, pressure of your management team, the pressure of the burden of expectation, as well as the pressure of the occasion, and of course, the pressure of money at stake. There go the statistics, the scores. The green and red apples. Foul breaks, that's the most disappointing statistic on my side. The dry breaks are 6, shared equally as much as the foul breaks, but the foul break session is a little bit disappointing. 1 foul break is enough for the match when you are a player of this level in the whole race. Just 3 reds to go. under normal circumstances, maybe on a training routine session, Ibra will finish this red game 19 times out of 20. It's only that this is not a training session. You have to do things under pressure. And yet deliver as if there is no pressure at all, as if you're pretending that there is no pressure at all. There we go. He's coming closer again. His fans are beginning to rejuvenate him at the venue, Ibra. They are beginning to believe. They are starting to silence Caesar's fans in a way. Ibra Sejemba 13 and Caesar Chandiga 16. That makes it 29 games played so far, which makes it the last game of the third quarter of this match. You are watching frame number 30 of 41 from two of the best players that the country of Uganda has to offer, and in my opinion, two of the best players that the continent of Africa has to offer today and last year and the other year. In which Caesar Chandiga, the guy that is donning the ATA shirt, the guy on table, the guy having a 3-game lead, the guy that took the lead in the first quarter and has since not given it away, as if intentionally trying to kill Ibra slowly, as slow as the movement of that white ball. He is on a mission to win $2,000 from a work done in 4 hours, from being the first player to 21 compared to his opponent in the ATA revolution of the game, the match that is being charged for online viewership in a very cheap but a very crucial way, especially for the players. And thank you, Africa, for the response, for the fact that this one is the start of this big thing that is coming for African pool. I have to say it is very impressive. What is not very impressive is the resting position of the white ball of Caesar as he tried to find the black. He is seemingly in trouble. Unless he finds a way to put, oh my God, oh my God. It is something this that Caesar has nowadays made us accustomed to. That is the reaction of the crowd. That is largely Caesar fans. After Caesar impresses like he normally does. That is stuff for dreams. That is a big Ibra fan. He is called Mickey D. He doesn't believe his eyes. Not the first time, neither is it the second. Many times that Caesar is in trouble. He recovers from the trouble by impressing the most, producing magic when he needs magic. Ibra 13, Caesar 17. Those are 50,000 shilling notes, the equivalent of about 17 US dollars per note that Caesar is receiving from the fans from that one shot. We are having most probably the last timeout of the match. Once again, Ibrahim Sajemba 13 and Caesar Chandiga 17. We are back for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Ibra taking more time, having a rest, refreshing and speaking to his management. Actually, he was 1 minute away from losing one game by walkover countdown, because when the 5 minutes were elapsed, there was started a 5-minute walkover countdown by umpire Henry Joko before Ibra came to the table with 1 minute over the 5 to go. Had he come 60 minutes later, it would have been 13-18 in Caesar's favor by the time the frame would have started. And for those of you who are just joining right now, it is the start of the last quarter, the fourth quarter out of 4. The last 10 games, most likely, maybe, in this first session of the trilogy, as it has been dubbed. 3 money matches, each of them racing to 21 between Ibrahim Sajemba and Caesar Chandiga. The first one and the second are happening today and tomorrow at the same venue, Climax Bar in Kampala, with a special facilitation of allowing fans support these players financially by paying to watch them entertain. And while for Caesar or Ibra or whoever of the two guys loses tonight's race, there will be money to benefit, yes, from the gate collections at the venue, but also online charges, which will have a deduction of the production costs of their costs of production, and after then the monies shall be shared equally between Team Ibra and the Team Caesar. And isn't that what you wish for these players? The first session today has been a success. Please make tomorrow's a success as well, and Saturday's a success by doing exactly what you've done today and encouraging those who have not to do so, and helping out your friends, some of whom were not able to catch this action, and yet they may have subscribed simply because they do not know exactly how this application works. Please help them out if you are near them, such that they do not miss out tomorrow's action. 30 games already played. From my watch, it is 11:30 p.m. East African time, 10:30 p.m. Southern African time. When you have to factor in that we have had about 20 minutes of timeout, then we started about 10 minutes late. This match has gone on for just about 3 hours. And I want to think that in less than 4 hours, we shall be done. And that's it, we shall have a winner. We shall have a $2,000 richer player in between Ibra and Caesar. The last time I saw Caesar surrendering a 4-game cushion in a long race, a money match of this magnitude, maybe an even bigger magnitude between himself and Aiden Joseph with $4,000 at stake. No, that one he didn't surrender. Oops. Ibra, when he decides to entertain, he can also entertain quite sweetly. I was just telling you the last time I did see Caesar surrendering a 4-game cushion was him against Aiden Joseph in Kampala here at Tickles and Giggles around April last year, more than 1 year ago. He went 20-17 up and then lost the match 21-20. He actually gave out an even bigger lead, I'm getting to remember, between himself and Timothy Onida, the guy called Sakala, in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. Last year he led 11-3, a match that he lost 16-15. For now, he is pulling one back surely. From the time break, it is seeming as though they talk to himself. I want to think from his manager. I want to think that Zach Idiro did call him from the countryside in northern Uganda, where he is now doing his managerial work with the Bank of Africa in Uganda. He probably gave Ibra a 5-minute talk, which seems to have paid off, because from the time break, it is Ibra who was foul break Ibra. Foul break Ibra. Kati Caesar bwagimaliramu awo ng'omwongerako red apple. Okitegedde? Seven times in between Caesar and Ibra that there has been a foul on the break in only one match. It is an area that seriously needs to be worked on. When you get a chance to watch the top professional handball players, fouling on the break is almost impossible. They have that one break, that one strict break that all perfect. They have a very good split of the balls, drawing the white ball backwards off the cushion, such that when they pot, they stand a good chance of a clearance. It is one more foul break that has come from Ibra. That's why it is 4 for foul breaks to 3. As you can see the statistics, the lower third, 17-13. A few green apples, more red apples. Foul breaks and dry breaks are dominating the statistics as compared to green and red apples. While these players are really entertaining, I think that they could have done better today. Maybe it will get better tomorrow. Now here comes the Scorpion. Becoming increasingly likely to win as long as he starts to pull one more back, because he is only 4 games away from the magic number 21. That white ball was pretty much accurate, because a roll of the ball gives him obvious white for the next yellow. He didn't play it with strength enough. That was a little bit complacent, maybe careless. Nonetheless, he gets to have a sharp cut on the yellow, dragging the white ball a little off the cushion, making it not move so far away from the black. A shot like this one the best bargain would be the center pocket on the right. But he could also go for the corner. Seems to be aiming for center. And yes, gets the center. Caesar 18, Ibra 14. A total of 9 games left.
Trilogy is brought to you by Advanced Talent.
The moral support that you have created Africa for watching this match successfully live for a pay. It is the first successful story of watching paid matches for pool. And I will continue to retaliate that the disappointing part of today's match have been the breaks. The statistic that dominates the statistics section is both the dry breaks and the foul breaks. They are outnumbering apples, especially the green ones. The red ones have been some fairly good number. The green ones not so much. And here is the seeming dry break. The fans have refused to move. Climax Bar in Kampala, I will officially say, is full to capacity. The last time it was this full was when either of these two players did have money matches with Jeremiah Green, Naido, Ganda. And on those matches at Climax, it is Ibra who won. The following day, Caesar was beaten. And yet he did win the rematch about 3 days later. For now, it is the first of the trilogy. It is therefore the taking of each of these players, but Caesar in a pretty big advantage because of the 4-game cushion he is having on Ibra. And for whoever loses this race, it will hurt. But the good news is that there will be opportunity for redemption tomorrow. Same time, same stake, same race, same venue, same viewing criteria. Ibra versus Caesar tomorrow in a rematch of the trilogy here at Climax Bar in Machindi. All action live, courtesy of the Advanced Talent Agency. That is the face of someone who is trying to fight like a cat which has its claws shaped to scrub upwards and not downwards. A little bit out of sorts. You can just ponder what is going on in his mind, most especially looking at one of his balls, the red ball that is in between, that is surrounded by a series of scissors yellows near that corner pocket. There we go. He's looking for white ball for the one and only bad red ball I'm talking about. And I think he gets it. And for some of his performances of the day, some of the shots he has been taking, especially from the fans, he has been receiving little credit than he does deserve. And I'm not saying that we have seen the best of Ibra, but sometime he has been brilliant equally. And that is one of them. That was pinpoint accuracy from the magician. There we go. Straight focus, shoot, on target, and wins. Ibra 15 and Caesar 18. The break has been, the shot has haunted both of these players in this match so far. Lots of dry breaks, lots of foul breaks. This one is one of the best breaks that Ibra will be getting in this match. And with Uganda's National Open champion 2018 in the background female category, Rita. A number of fans having their hands on their heads. A sign that they are supporting the player who is trailing the player who is on the table right now. Ibra on an open table but nominates the yellows. I'm not so sure it was the right choice. Nonetheless, he makes the choice and goes for it and closes the table and is playing yellows. As the umpire of the day, Henry Joko, watches on, being assisted by Farida Hadija Nachiride. The beautiful ring fencing of the playing area. No fan has access to anywhere close to the pool table. The enclosure is only for the players and the official. And the initiative is from the Advanced Talent Agency. And yet, this is where it was always suspicious, Ibra's choice of colors. It was always clear. There was a clear distinction between the yellows and the reds. The reds were not only positioned better, they were fewer because two of them were potted on the break. And it would be a very cheeky way to lose a frame if Ibra loses this frame to what is a seeming clearance for Caesar, which could be 19th out of the 21 that he needs for the victory. And the white ball moves around as though he's moving it by hand. He could start with either of the balls, either of the reds. There we are. Just rolls it. Plays the white ball to try and put both reds to the same pocket. It was actually the right decision. Had he wanted to maintain the white ball to the, not to go beyond giving him white ball for good red on the center pocket, it was always risky. Him potting and maintaining the white ball. Now he's finding himself on the black, and unexpected situation, especially after Ibra's break. A very good break that did see him put two balls on the break and splitting the reds so well. And Ibra went for yellows and failed to finish the game. A failure, which granted Caesar a chance to play. Playing the reds, which were so well positioned, and finished them so well, putting himself now within 2 games of the victory. Ibrahim Sejemba 15 and Caesar Chandiga 19. I would love it if I were the guy collecting money for Caesar. Well knowing that he will get some money in other ways tonight, especially online. I will tell him that I may not be available to fund him. It is another dry break from Caesar, yet to be updated on those statistics, so it will shortly be 5 dry breaks from Caesar and about 4 foul breaks. The break has been the worst executed shot in the race today. Or will I say tonight? It is starting to look worrying for Ibra and very worrying. It is promising for Caesar and very promising that the magic number of 21 for the Scorpion is now 2 games away, and yet another seems to be already in the bag. A face of a guy that has money on his mind, has victory on his mind. Representing himself, his management team, his fan base team, Team the Scorpion. And there he goes. This time he fouls. No, not really. Not really. I was quite wrong on my speculation. From my viewing area, it seemed as though the white ball was moving right into the pocket. But it will work for Caesar. And just makes a little stand shot. And will aim the black to get to 20 for as long as he puts. Every time he gets ever close to the money, he becomes even more serious and even more dangerous, as if smelling blood. And just like that, always delivering when up against the black. This is now the maths. It is very easy to explain, but very difficult to ascertain and implement. The match has a total number of 6 games left. Ibra needs to win them all or else succumb to second place and hopefully wait for tomorrow to try and revenge. Ibra 20 and Caesar 21. And now it is one of those moments when a miss of a ball on the break is celebrated by the fans of the rival player as if it is the pot of a black itself. But they would be right, because if Caesar makes this clearance, he would pot the black, which would have secured him the 21st frame, which would have confirmed him victory in the first session of the trilogy between him and Ibra. The table is closed, and Caesar is smelling blood. He unfortunately plays one of his balls dead. So much in close contact with one of Ibra's reds, and his facial expression is a guy that has his mind entirely on only one ball, contemplating how he will open it, contemplating on how he will win, despite the fact that one of his red balls is dead. And there is the little series of shots. I'm not so sure that he has sight of any of the balls enough to pot it. I'm not so sure. He will have to produce some magic here to pot a ball, in my opinion. He has already produced magic. I think he has generally been the better player. I'm not meaning that he has already won, but he is in pole position to win at least one of 6 games. And Ibra must be knowing it in his mind that he could win, but very unlikely. His best chance is to try and avenge what could be a defeat. A defeat later tomorrow. Same time, same venue, same stake, same viewing conditions, same everything. Ibra versus Caesar tomorrow, climax Bamachinde at 7 p.m. Session number 2. Then session number 3 will come this Saturday at Addis Sport, also in Kampala. The snookered Caesar finds his red, his yellow. It is now half a set of yellow balls, all of them in space, and a number of red balls. One of them is in bad position. The red ball closest to the white ball near that cushion. It is the one on which Ibra has his mind set. All he can do is try and win the game that is in front of him. Unfortunately, Ibra fouls in a shot that creates a big worry of the fear of the unknown at Roxbury, where he is managed as a top player. The town of Bukoto, where he was born and bred. From his fans, the team money made, it is all worrying. But again, it is a sigh of expectation and relief in Gulu and Lira and Arua, where Caesar is born, raised and nurtured respectively as a player and as a person, where they have learned to hail him as a regional hero. And with each and every shot he now plays, there is a seeming likelihood of him getting the victory. But again, he has played himself in a little bit of trouble. Very critical shot, this one. Yes, he pots. Has a big spin on the white ball. Little but detailed shot. Like a mini skirt. Little but detailed. Caesar will need a big cut of his last yellow to the corner pocket. I don't know about the final resting position of the white ball, But if he sinks this ball in, and if he somehow controls his white ball, he will be home and dry. And does exactly that. A beautiful shot. Is likely to be the penultimate shot of the race. As long as he puts the black scissor, Chandiga, the Scorpion, ladies and gentlemen, is the official winner of the first session of the Trilogy between himself and Ibra. $2,000 richer tonight. Also richer in terms of online viewership, subscription, and payment. Final score. Caesar versus Ibra. Racing to 21 for $2,000 tonight has been Ibrahim Sejemba 15 and Caesar Chandiga 21.